Hey guys, once again, thanks for watching my travel blog of my hike across the Dingle Peninsula. Today was my long-awaited hike from Dingle to Dunquin, which was the same distance as from Annisquil to Dingle, but way more intense actually. I mean, there was mountain climbing, there was beach walking, there was road walking, there was all kinds of stuff today, and I went way up there in the mountains, as you'll see in the videos. But suffice to say, it was probably one of my favorite days yet, just because of the huge variety of things that I did and the great views that I enjoyed throughout. So, take a look.
Well, good morning everyone. I'm leaving Dingletown now, heading out to Dunquin. Leaving a little bit earlier than I have the past couple of days because my bed and breakfast owners requested that I eat breakfast a little earlier because they were super packed and they were going to have a really busy morning making breakfast for everyone. So they asked that I have breakfast at like 8 o'clock, and I was more than happy to oblige. Gets me out there on the trail a little bit earlier, maybe into Dunquin a little earlier, or at least I have more time to take my time. So it's about 9 o'clock right now as I'm heading out. Alright, I'm now crossing over the bridge, the River Milltown, which means I'm officially leaving Dingletown, and as you can see, not much of a river right now because tide's out. So everything kind of dries up around here. There's a lot less water than you think there is. But as I said, I'm headed to Dunquin by way of Slee Head. There should be some pretty cool views of the Blasket Islands, which are a couple small islands right off the coast that apparently people lived on until about 20 years ago or so. And I'm thinking about, during my extra day in Dunquin tomorrow, I'm thinking about taking a boat trip out to them. But we'll see how it goes. In other news, now that I'm wearing my hiking sneakers rather than my boots, I think it might be a little easier on my feet. Feeling good so far, but I'll just have to wait and see. Well, back on the quiet country roads now. It's better than the main road that I was already on. I should note that today looks like an absolutely beautiful day. As you can see, there's really not a cloud in the sky. And it's already pretty warm, so maybe one of the hotter days I've walked too. I should also note that today's hike from Dingle to Dunquin is ostensibly day 5, or in other words, the middle point of the 10-day trip that I booked. Although, of course, as you know, I stayed one day in Dingle, and I'm also staying one extra day in Dunquin when I get there. So it's more like 12 days, so actually tomorrow will probably be more like the halfway point in this trip for me. Well, it's about an hour into my walk now. I'm off the road and walking along a narrow grassy track in the middle of farmland. So yeah, back to kind of hiking I really like to do. And if you look down there at the beach, that's where I'm going to be walking in just a little while. Nice beach walk will be fun, right along the water. It's not that breezy, so maybe it'll be a little breezier down there. Could really use it. I'm sweating like a pig up here. So, about an hour and a half into my walk now, and I'm walking along the beautiful Ventry Beach. And that right up there is the town of Ventry. Pretty small, but several places to stop and eat if you're so inclined. I'm led to believe I get to walk along this beach for quite a ways, at least till over there. So, it's a nice stroll, really. Good way to start the morning. So I've been on the trail for 2 hours now. Finally leaving the beach behind. Now pretty soon I should be able to stop at the visitor center / cafe of an old ring fort somewhere up in the distance, and that'll be a good place to have lunch, whether or not I actually pay money to go in and tour the fort. I don't know, I guess that depends. I'll have to make that decision when I get there, but it could be a nice way to take a break. So I'm kind of in the bowl in like the middle of bunch of mountains right now. You can't really see them that well, but they're back there as well, pretty much all around me. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to start going up again relatively soon. I just passed a really big group, so it means I'm headed in the right direction at least. The path is going to get a lot narrower up ahead, so that'll be fun. Alright, Stonehouse Restaurant and Cafe by Dingle Fort, 500 meters. So I am 500 meters away from lunch. It's pretty good. I'm making relatively good time, I think, because once I get there, I'll have done more than half my hike in about, almost getting close to 3 hours now. So, yeah, like I said, making pretty good time, and can't beat a view like that. For those of you who are more familiar with Irish geography, just to give you an idea of kind of where I am right now, that out there is an island way out there around the corner. That's the Blasket Islands. That's like right across from where I'm headed today. So it's cool that it's in sight. It means maybe not too far now. Back here, so that landmass there sticking out into the ocean is the famous Ring of Kerry, big touristy part of Ireland. And out there you can barely see them out in the distance are the Skelligs, which are two islands where, like right off the coast of the Ring of Kerry, where monks had like a monastery basically on a piece of rock jutting out of the middle of the ocean. And it's really, really cool. Last time I was here, I visited the Ring of Kerry. Unfortunately, it was too early in the season to go visit the Skelligs, but that's something I'd really, really like to do in the future. Well, there's Dingle Fort. It's a short walk down from the road. And it's only €2 to visit the site and watch the little 10-minute film that they have, which is pretty interesting, so really pretty cool. I mean, look at this location. It's unbelievable. Unfortunately, it can't go any further because, yeah, major work is needed apparently for the site to be in any way safe. I'm not sure how long it's been closed like this, but they're not sure when it's going to be repaired. They hope it's in the near future, but like the lady behind the counter said, last month they said this month, and this month they're saying next month, so just no money. It's kind of like the States, I guess, no money in repairing public historic places like this, unfortunately. But yeah, it'd really be a shame to lose this, so I hope something gets done about it. Also, slight medical update for the day. My hiking shoes, as opposed to my boots, seem to be helping a little bit. That's good news. The bad news is, I'm not sure how reliable that is. I don't know whether that's just me, I'm just getting used to the pain, or if they actually are better. Although I think the blisters might be starting to go away on their own. They seem to be deflating somewhat since I last checked. Is that a thing? Blisters going away on their own? I don't know. But, yeah, so that's good news. Bad news is my legs are pretty stiff and sore, but that's kind of after I was sitting down for a long time. Muscle at the back of my left leg is pretty stiff, and then my calves are sore. But overall, I'm doing pretty okay today. So it's hour 4 of my trip now, and I'm walking right next to one of said stone walls, looking out onto the ocean. I've been climbing uphill pretty steadily for a while now. Hopefully I'll get to the top soon. So, as you can see, I am way freaking up. Oh boy. I can only hope that pretty soon I'm gonna go way freaking down. I'll tell you, this pasture land has been pretty cool. This walk today pretty much has everything. Hour 5. Still no end in sight. Although I believe where I am right now is Slee Head, which, unless I'm wrong, is the westernmost point in Ireland, so this is about as close to home as I'm going to get this entire trip. And down here, I don't know if you can see them, there's There've been a lot of them along the trail. Little beehive huts that are like early Christian structures, dome things constructed out of stone. So that's pretty cool too. Got a lot of archaeology going on around here. Well, there they are, the Blasket Islands. Now, the way I understand it is there used to be a permanent population on Great Blasket right out there, but a couple years, not a couple years ago, more like 10 or 20 years ago, I think, they finally evacuated the last like 22 residents to the mainland after a pretty steady decline in population. And there was talk of building like a private resort out there for, you know, high-paying tourists, but the farmers defeated that motion, which, I mean, it would have been pretty cool, but still, it's nice to preserve the islands. And now they're pretty much only used for cattle and sheep grazing. The farmers row them across in boats and whatever. And there's trips that go out to the islands, but I understand that they oftentimes can't land because rough weather makes it difficult to land there. So I'm not sure how that bodes for my boat trip, but we'll see what happens. Well, it's about 5.5 hours into my trip, and I just consulted my directions, and yes, I'm almost there. So it's about 2 o'clock right now, and really can't wait to put my feet up after this. But I have to say, today is probably one of my favorite days of walking so far, just because there was all kinds of different paths and beautiful views of the coast. And yeah, well, I guess we'll see what tomorrow brings. Oh man, we are way out of the sticks. I mean, seriously though, call this a town? I mean, there's like 3 houses so far and a cafe. If there's not a big town around the next bend, I don't know. It's just, it'll be pretty surprising, because this will be like the smallest town that I've been in yet. Although, to be fair, camp was pretty small, so it's not entirely unprecedented. Well, that's Dunquin over there. Man, talk about a town in the middle of nowhere. This is easily the most isolated little town that I've been to so far on this trip. I mean, usually between each little town I see, you know, at least some indication of civilization, like a group of houses here and there, some major roads. But yeah, today, I mean, there was almost zero. Really feeling very isolated out here.
And it turns out my suspicions were correct, because as I pointed out in that last video, there is literally nothing around this area. So, I don't know, I'm starting to consider and debate as to whether choosing to stay an extra day here was a good idea or not. Really, other than going to the Blasket Islands Visitors Center and going out on a boat trip to the islands themselves, there's nothing to do here as far as I can tell, just because it is such a small and isolated place. Also, somewhat inconveniently, the harbor where the boat trips go from and the Blasket Visitors Center are a little bit of a distance walk from my bed and breakfast. So unfortunately, I'll be doing quite a bit of walking tomorrow on my day off probably, but at least it's not cross-country hiking, you know. I gotta take the good with the bad. And I am enjoying the possibility of doing that tomorrow, but depending on how long that boat trip takes, I could be sitting around twiddling my thumbs a little bit. But, yep, we'll see what happens. Anyway, thanks for watching once again, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow.